Essentially, I think having a good social media is absolutely key to the business, particularly if you're building a business on social media. You know, some coaches, they do it face to face still. They still have they meet up with people, and they might network at events and things like that. But for the majority of us, we do it all on social media. So I think there are a few really simple tips and tricks and strategies that you can employ to make sure that you are making the most out of your social media. You know, your social media really has got to be your shop front. And when I chat to coaches who are nervous about, say, inviting or connecting with people, the way I look at it is, you know, if you went into your favorite restaurant, for instance, and you were sat down at the table, and you know, 5 minutes later, still nobody's come round to see you. Another 5 minutes, nobody's asked what you want. Another 5 minutes, they've not even passed you the menus, and you'd be like thinking, "Am I invisible?" And the way you know, when people follow you on social media, they are technically they're sitting in your restaurant. They've not ordered yet because they don't know what you've got to offer, but they're there because they're interested and they know they want something. They might actually just want to see how things operate. So they might just be interested as a bystander and want to sort of get to know you first. Those are more sort of like the people who are looking in the window, having a look at the price list, having a look at the, you know, what's on the menu that day. But essentially, if they're following you, if they're watching your stories, if they're commenting and liking on your posts, they are in your restaurant. And not everybody is going to want serving, but likewise, you won't know that until you ask. So you have got to get over this fear. If you have it, you may not have it, but a lot of coaches do, and you've got to get over this fear of worrying that you're going to offend somebody by asking if they want some help or if they want some information. I mean, if somebody gets offended, really, what's the worst that can happen? You're not going to explode. Your head's not going to fall off. You're not going to die. If in the best case scenario, they will unfollow you, and it will be one person less that you have to waste your time on. Because we are in the business of helping people. And we are in the business of, you know, aligning people with a health and fitness solution, if that's what they want. If they don't, they might just reply politely and say, "No, I just enjoy watching along. Thanks so much. You know, you motivate me to push to get to the gym and do my own workouts, but I'm not looking for any help." That's cool. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be pushing something on everyone who's in your social media. But there are a lot of people there who are watching who do want help. And it's those people that you know, they don't have "I want help" tattooed on their forehead. We've got to ask them and find out if they want help. And some people will say no, first of all, because they want to scout you out. They want to see what you're up to. And then with time, as they get to know you better, which is what this audit's about, they'll gain trust in you, and they'll see that you're showing up, they'll see that you're consistent, and when they're ready, they'll come knocking on your door, unless you knock on their door and say, "Hey, is the time better for you now? Because this month we're running a boot camp." So you've just got to get over this fear of appearing rude. If they're following you, if they're liking and commenting, if they're watching your stories, they're sat in your restaurant, and you're the one being rude by not approaching them and saying hi. Okay? They don't have to have the lobster. They might just want to have a packet of peanuts. That's cool. Get them a packet of peanuts. So, right, that's my little rant on for as far as connecting with people goes. So we are going to go through the slides reasonably quickly, unless any of you hop on, and then you can ask me some questions. Now, I can't take all the credit for these. I've made all these, but I've used one of our fellow coaches, Ashley Feldyson. She did a presentation a little while ago, and I took a lot of what she used and I've made it into our own presentation. I've tweaked it a bit and I've added a little bit, and hope it'll be helpful anyway. So, and I've put it in our design because I think it looks pretty. So first of all, what your viewers want to hear less and see less of. And this is so crucial because, you know, when you're showing up on social media, you really want to make sure that the stuff you're putting out there is relevant and it's engaging, or it's educational, or it's informative, or it's funny. Um, Especially with us being a network marketing company, you really want to avoid using stock photos, the first one there, purely because it looks salesy. There is no connection between the image and you. So I think social media has come a long way in recent years. And I think it's moving away from the really staged photographs now. You don't need any special equipment to make your social media look really good. A lot of coaches use presets, filters. I don't use one. I have got some presets on my phone. I've actually not worked out how to use them. And the one I got was like a bright preset, because I love bright colors, as you can see. And I wanted something that would just make things ping a bit more. But I've just not got around to actually even looking at it yet. So I don't use a preset. A lot of coaches do, some don't. It's entirely up to you. Personally, I think, depending what your brand is, my brand really is about being authentic and very open and honest. And so I don't want my feed to look too tweaked either, because that's not authentic or honest either. I want it to look as I am. And I feel I capture that within my feed. So I'm sure other people might have a different opinion on that, but that's how it sits best for me. And the best thing about this business also is the fact that just because, you know, you can run your business exactly how you want to run it. Just because some other coach might run it in a different way doesn't mean to say that they're right and you're wrong, or that you're right and they're wrong. We just run it differently, and we all have different approaches. We're all different individuals. We all have different demands on our time. We've all got different fears. Or a lot of us have the same fears, you know, but we've all got different things going on in our lives, different personalities, and so we all run our businesses differently. So don't think, oh, because she or he does it in a specific way, you have to do it the same. Not at all. But there are a few blanket pointers which are going to help you. So yeah, avoid stock photos like the plague. Also, unless you're buying them, if you're I mean, you can get free photos on Pixabay and Unsplash. Actually, there's some really good quality photos on there. But you just need photos of you, ideally, or your hands or your feet, or, you know, something to do with you. We'll go through that in a little bit, but avoid stock photos. Avoid lots of words on photos as well. Now, if you're going through to my feed, you'll see that I do an IGTV on a Monday and a Wednesday. So I have to put a little caption on there, just so that people can, when I save it to my feed, so it means people get like a little sort of 60-second caption of what the IGTV is about. If I don't have that little caption on there, they won't actually know what that IGTV is about. So for the IGTVs, I do use a little caption. It's very discreet, but otherwise don't use words on your photographs. It just looks messy, and you'll see there are quite a few people. In fact, I came through across a lot of them yesterday, accounts that they tended to be more men in the fitness industry, and they just had like an informative photo. So it might be like, you know, the top 6 foods to eat if you want to lose weight, and the top 5 foods to avoid if you want to get rid of belly fat, those sorts of things. And I think if it's an informative post, or it's a quote, then that's different. But don't have a photograph of you with then writing all sprawled over it. The only time I ever do that is if I'm doing like a coaching post, like I'm calling to a coaching opportunity. And I make it really discreet. I think I've got one in the images that I'm going to share with you later. But on the whole, if it's got your photograph on it, don't put words on it. It just looks messy and it's distracting. And then if you're doing like Instagram stories or Facebook stories, again, some coaches tend to type it all out as well. I don't know why they bother with that, because it just takes so long. I know there is a reason behind it. Is because if you're sat in the office and you're watching somebody's stories, but you've got to be quiet so that the boss doesn't know that you're watching somebody else's stories, they can actually read it. I think for the time it takes you to type it up, and if you've got an Android like mine is crashing all the time. So you've got to weigh it up. Is it worth your time to type the message, you know, what you're saying, or the bones of your message on top of your story? I don't think so. I think it looks messy as well. But some coaches do it. I prefer not to. I think it's much more important that it's your voice, so people can get a really good feel for who you are and get to know your personality. And if you're not using Instagram stories already, you've got to start. Instagram will reward you if you use the Instagram stories, and they're just a great way of people to get to know you better and to sort of just know you behind the face of Beachbody. I think, you know, when you're a Beachbody coach, you have a tendency to think, oh, I've got to talk about health and fitness, and I've got to talk as though I know everything, and I've got to talk as though I'm a qualified nutritionist and dietitian. You don't at all. Just share your life. You know, I shared, in fact, I got a post I'm going to put on my story in a little while, either today or tomorrow. A couple of days ago, I dyed one of my favorite pink long jumpers, got stains on it from being in my shed over the summer months. It got wet, something on top of it was dark blue and purple. I was just like such a naff subject, but it appeals to housewives. I asked people, what should I do to get the stain out? I got a lot of responses from that, and it actually helps. I tried those things out, nothing worked. So today I've dyed that very pale pink jumper bright blue. So I'm actually going to share that on my Instagram stories later on. Another one I shared today was the fact that I always feel like Dr. Dolittle while I'm walking around the house, because I've constantly got cats and dogs following me, also when I go to the toilet. I shared that on my stories because, again, people who've got pets will resonate with it. It's just funny. It's an opportunity for people to get to know you as an individual behind the face and away from Beachbody. You know what, we're down to one car. We're a 3-car family, and my daughter's got her car in Cornwall. My car is in Cornwall at the moment, because I drove my son's car back after he'd passed his test, and we got in my car. So I'm without a car. So I share it when Joseph takes me out shopping. And it's just like, oh, I'm a little old lady, I'm allowed out today, and we're going off to the shops, and it's so exciting. And, you know, stay-at-home mums or mothers stuck with babies and youngsters will understand that. And it's just taking the mickey. I like to use humor as often as I can, and it's just stupid, it's just daft. So I share all sorts of things like that. When my son or my daughter, when she's home, when they're playing the piano, I often sneak up the stairs and I just do a story of that, and literally it's just me going, oh, so proud, and that's it. And, you know, but again, mums particularly really resonate with that. They love it. I get a lot of feedback for those frames. So don't think that you've got to sound like you know everything and that it's all got to be about Beachbody. I think on your stories, if you're invited to a boot camp with a coaching opportunity, yes, you want some Beachbody. I share about 3 clips of my workouts every day on my Instagram stories. But it's also, you've got to have some non-Beachbody stuff on there, because you're not just Beachbody. Who are you? You know, what defines you? And we'll go into that in a little while as well. So predictability, don't be boring. Every morning I share, like, I either shake my pint of water, or I show squeezing a lemon into the water, or I might even do like a frame with another frame underneath it if I've used like the Unfold app, which allows you to put a couple of pictures on the same story. And so it might be the benefits of lemon water and a glass of water underneath it, something like that. And often I'll use a GIF do a water GIF, so it might just be waves on the bottom of it. But I try not to just do the same glass wiggle every morning, because that does get tedious and boring. But I still, you know, when people drink water, they often think of me. And I know that because people send me messages, because every morning I'm sharing that we need to hydrate our life pod. We need to drink our water. And so I do a variety of different types of water images. Sometimes it's just a message saying, hey, drink your water. But every morning I sort of, you know, I try and do something slightly different. And yes, the same old things do come up occasionally, but on the whole, I just try and make it slightly different. So try not to be too predictable so that you don't become boring. Again, I've covered, don't just talk about Beachbody, because again, that's boring and it's salesy. People aren't interested unless you're specifically talking about like your upcoming boot camp that you're excited about and you're really passionate about, and you know, you can share a few bits about that. I wouldn't share too many frames. If you're talking, I would say try and keep it to 3 or 4, and then, you know, include a poll or a swipe up feature, or click the link in my bio to fill in the application form. You know, act like you are a business owner, because that's what you are. Don't act like you're somebody who is desperately trying to build a business. Act like somebody who's really proud of the business they've already created. You know, you are the CEO, so act like the CEO. Let it come through in your voice. Show some confidence, and if you've only got 20 people watching you, they don't know there's only 20 people watching you. As far as they're aware, you might have 2 million people watching you. So never feel afraid that you can't sort of establish yourself in your rightful niche. So, you know, if it helps to think you're talking to a larger audience, do that. But one thing I would say on that is also, I'm guilty of this, and a lot of people are. Try not to say, hey guys, or hey friends, which I'm terrible at because I'm always doing it, and then I realize I've done it and I don't bother going back to record it again. Try and talk to the singular. That's what all like the sort of the social media gurus say, is talk as though you're talking to your best friend. So one person, so it's intimate. And if you're talking to your best friend, you let your defenses down. And that's one of the best things about Instagram stories, is it gives people a chance just to get to know you on a personal level. And avoid confusion. Don't use terms like challenge group or Beachbody on demand, because we know what those mean, but most people won't have the foggiest idea. So, you know, like challenge group I refer to as like my online health and fitness boot camp, or my virtual fit club, or my online health community. So, you know, people can get a better idea of what that means. Coaching, a lot of coaches say coach sneak peek. I had no idea what a coach sneak peek was when I joined Beachbody, so I try not to use that. I say coaching information session or coaching opportunity most of the time. I have said sneak peek recently, occasionally, but not so much. I prefer information session, or you know, info gathering sesh, something like that. I just try and make it sound quite relaxed. But yeah, be aware that you're not using terminology that people outside of Beachbody are not going to understand. And what do people want to hear and see more of? So more of your day-to-day. I've covered pretty much a lot of that in this one. You know, I recently have started talking to the camera, talking to my Instagram stories as I'm walking around the house, providing there's reasonable light. Don't go through the house when it's really, really dark. But, you know, people love to get a glimpse into what, you know, your house and where you are. So that I tend to sort of go from one room to another room, and then I'll stay in the second room and finish off saying what I'm saying. But just having that movement and that sense of space, and that sense, you know, the different interests, because people will be thinking, oh, what's she got in the background there? You know, or there might be a dog running down the stairs. You know, it's just, I think it's really good to include more of your day to day. You can even do things like behind the scenes. You can sort of say, like now, I could do an Insta story of me doing this tutorial for you guys. And I could just show my phone, and I could get my phone, and I could just do it now and, you know, pop that up on Instagram. Obviously, confidence when you speak, we just covered that. But remember that you are the CEO of your business, so treat it like a business. Your voice, obviously, I think that's the beauty of Instagram stories, is that people get a feel of who you are, and then things at their level. Don't overcomplicate things. Keep it really simple. Most people like really simple concepts. You know, I can't remember what it was. It's something like, when you write and when you talk, you need to try and talk or write as though you're talking to a 12-year-old. I struggle with that because I love words, and I'm a linguist by profession, by my degree, and I like words, so I do use words. But then I think I attract people who like words too, and that's fine. But, you know, just be aware of the fact that you want to be trying to sort of keep your level of language at a level that most people can understand, and have fun. You know, people want, life's stressy enough. If people can have a laugh with you or giggle with you, it's a little light in their day. You want to be that ray of sunshine that maybe they're missing on that day. So, and I think it's a great opportunity for people to see you as a normal human being as well. You know, like today I took my Wellingtons off. I've been out walking with the dogs, took my boots off, and then I wasn't looking, instead of putting my foot in my flip-flop, I put my foot back in the boot, but for the boot of the other foot. I mean, how stupid was that? And I nearly shared that on my stories, but because I was busy, I thought, oh no, I've got enough stuff on my stories today. But if I'd been a bit short and I had a bit more time, I'd have done that. And relatability, again, just be a normal human being. People need to be able to relate to you. They need to be able to trust you for them to think, okay, I would like her help or his help to get me to reach my health goals. Because when people want to lose weight, when they've got health challenges, it can make them feel very vulnerable. Not everybody is just like, hey, yeah, sign me up for Transform 20 and I'm going to do it. And you know, however many weeks later, I'm going to follow the nutrition plan. I'm going to strip off. I'm going to do all my selfie photographs and share them in boot camp. A lot of people don't, you know, it takes a lot of guts for them even to show up in the boot camp. So just remember that. So the more relatable you are, the more of a human you are, then it just opens that avenue for you to be able to help people without them feeling intimidated or even more intimidated and more vulnerable because of the fact that, you know, they're revealing some of their struggles to you. You know, I'm always aware that when I ask people, what are your current goals and struggles? And people say, well, I've got a lot of weight to lose. And I say, well, how much do you want to lose in the time frame? And then they become embarrassed. You know, it's like, oh, I've got 50 pounds to lose and I'd really like to lose it by such and such a date. But do you think I can do that? They're so full of doubt because they've probably tried to lose that weight before. We know our solutions work. Without a shadow of a doubt, they work. And with our accountability of our groups, it makes a massive, massive difference as well. But when people come to us before they've actually been part of our solution, they don't know that. And so you just got to tread really gently with people because they do feel vulnerable. So who do you want to help? These are the types of people that I want to help, but you need to have it in your mind who you want to help too. Now, this is more like talking around the sort of the coaching thing, because obviously I want to help people with their health and fitness. I want to help people feel better in their skin. I want to help people who've got mental health struggles to get out of that, because we know, again, we can help them through the shakes, through the workouts, through the sense of community, through the support that they get. We can help people on so many different levels. But I've sort of written this more from a point of view as who would I want to help to build a career. But of course, you know, you need to be aware of the type of people that you want to help as well, because that will come through in your branding and also it will come through in your messaging. You know, for me, I'm trying to help the person who I was before I started to build this business. So, you know, I have had the corporate career that I've loved some of them and I've absolutely hated some of them. Some of the people that I work for were just abysmal. I have struggled to make ends meet. I do know there is more to life. I'm absolutely passionate about learning new things and I love helping people. And I didn't even know I needed community. I'm such a loner, but until I got this community, I had no idea that I actually needed it. So that's why I've put that back in brackets, even if they don't know it yet, because I didn't know it either. And if somebody had said to me, oh, the community is one of the most important, will be one of the most important things to you. And I said, no, it's not. I'm a loner. I'm fine. I'm really good on my own. I am really good on my own, but I also love this community, particularly now as my children, well, my son is not here very often. My daughter's at university and I'm here by myself with my furry friends. And actually it's really nice to have the community to dip into. and work with every day. You know, every single day we're in our various groups and our pages. It's something that I've benefited from so much. So I think, you know, when you think of who do you want to help, if you've not long been in the business, you're going to be helping the types of people that you are right now. If you're a little bit into the business, try and focus on who you were before you join the business, and that is probably the type of person that you're going to be wanting to help. I also, sorry, my cushion's all funny. I like to help people within the mental health realm because I'm a psychotherapist too, and I know how effective our solutions are for people with mental health. So dig down and then dig deeper. So again, I'm talking about Instagram stories here. I think they're just the best way for people to get to know you. Hands down, if you're not using them, you have got to get used to using them. And always remember that if you record a story and you're not happy with it, you don't have to post it. You can just delete it. It's not like you have to post it and then delete it. You can just press the X and it gets rid of it. So do not feel that you need to, you know, that you're committing to anything. Just practice and then stick something out. And the more you practice, the easier it will become. When I first did my first story, whenever that was, 18 months ago or so, I was terrified. It was awful. But now I've used them all the time. I love stories. It's such an easy way of connecting with people. And helping people to identify with you. So show that you're vulnerable, be authentic. Sometimes, and then this is more, so number 4 is a bit more about writing a post. Often we can stick at the superficial level without really realizing that we're doing it. What I try and do is when I'm writing a post, particularly if it's something a bit more reflective, like I wrote one today about bullying. So I wrote it, I scribbled it down fast, or typed it out in draft. And then I went away, came back, reread it, and I just thought, it was a bit messy. It didn't quite get across what I wanted it to get across. So I took a couple of sentences and I literally just broke it down. And I thought, with that particular sentence, how much deeper can I go in that one sentence? And that then developed the story around it. Now that post did take me a bit longer than most of my other posts. I don't usually spend too long writing my posts. I don't plan out my posts. A lot of coaches do. I can't. I just think it would sound too structured, and I wouldn't have my passion in it. I follow a plan. So say Monday is Menopause Monday while I'm doing my IGTVs. Tuesday we'll have a kind of transformation, whether it's a side-by-side photograph or a story of either me or somebody else with their transformation. Wednesday is Wellness Wednesday, so again that's another IGTV. Thursday is generally Throwback Thursday, but again I normally talk about a coach-related post and how something in me has changed. So confidence or a belief in myself or getting rid of the fear of being judged, that sort of thing. And then Friday, I tend to normally do a sort of coach related post. Saturday, I share a recipe or normally a Shakeology recipe, but it's not just a recipe. I will explain why it's so good. So I'll focus on one aspect. It'll either be raising an objection that people have. Some people say it's expensive. It's the same as a medium takeaway coffee, but it's got a whole lot of better good stuff for you. It's a meal replacement if you're, using it to lose weight. It's not expensive. People see the monthly cost and think, but it's just like, it's not expensive when you break it down. It's the equivalent of a takeaway coffee every day. And it's full of goodness. And if you tell me you've got IBS, you've got psoriasis, you've got high cholesterol, you've got mental health problems, all the other stuff that comes with it, and you're not willing to invest like the equivalent of a takeaway coffee on your health daily, it's just like, really? Serious? Okay, you'd rather take medications. And those don't come cheap. So I swear by the shakes, absolutely, hands down, swear by the shakes. So I will often either address a common objection in my post, or I will
talk about one of the ingredients. Specifically, I've been focusing quite a lot on the adaptogen herbs at the moment because they're so powerful. And so that's the sort of thing I tend to do on a Saturday. And then Sunday is normally a call to action post. So that will depend on whether we've got a boot camp coming up or a coaching opportunity coming up or a free group coming up. And I will pretty much do a fairly direct post around that. And end that with a call to action. So, drop your emoji if you want to learn more, leave me a comment, da-di-da-di-da, that sort of thing. So that tends to be on a Sunday. And sometimes I will double up posts. I'll, like, every sort of 3 or 4 days, I'll share a couple of my frames from my Instagram stories. I'll put onto my Instagram feed and also onto my Facebook feed of me doing the workout. Because remember, your Facebook feed is for, it's a vertical feed. Whereas your Instagram, it's a grid. So you want to make sure, particularly on your Instagram, which we will go through in a minute, you want to make sure that the grid has got a good combination of different types of photos. You don't want like 3 quotes and then 2 recipes and then maybe 1 picture of you and then, I don't know, something else. You want it nicely spaced out, and you want the content, the subject matter to be nicely spaced out too. And so, just coming back onto this, what's your objective with the post? So what do you actually want to achieve with it? I think a lot of new coaches tend to not write an awful lot. They might share a picture of their sweaty selfie and then just say, whoo, day 34 today, that made me sweat. But it doesn't deliver any information or value to anyone. Nobody gets anything from that post. So you could say, day 34 today, I didn't want to do it. Despite what you might think, I'm not a fan of getting up early and doing my workouts, but the reason I do get up early is because it makes me feel so much better. It helps gobble up my anxiety. It makes me sleep better at night, and I just feel much more productive and focused. And I'm the one going to work with glowing from the inside out. And so something along those lines, that was a really sort of, I didn't go particularly deep, but it shows a benefit. You've always got to remember that people don't give 2 hoots about you. They only want to know how you can help them. Mostly people, unless like they're Mother Teresa and people like that. But on the whole, people just don't care. All they want to know is how what you've got and what you're doing is going to help them. And it's just a fact of human nature. So bear that in mind when you're writing your post. What is your objective? Is it just to raise awareness about something? Is it to combat a common objection that you get with the business? That's often what I do. If I've had a common objection, I will then write about it in a post a few days later. Try not to be too obvious that I've had a common objection. Because I wouldn't want that person to then read my post and think, she's writing that about me. So yeah, how does it relate to you? So tie it into your story, and possibly Beachbody. So without it sounding salesy, I would never say the name of a program. I would not say the name of, I wouldn't really normally say the name of the trainer either. But depending on the objective of the post would be whether it ties into Beachbody too. Normally, if I've talked about a sort of like a personal story about sort of gaining confidence, I will tie that into how, since I've become a coach, I've become a lot more confident. Because you don't want just to stick random posts out there. They've got to have some link to either your business in some way, shape or form, because otherwise they're just random rants really. Occasionally I will do a post that's got absolutely nothing to do with anything other than the subject I'm talking about at the time, but the majority of them do link to my story in some way, and also link to health and fitness and freedom of coaching without being too obvious about Beachbody, and evoke emotion. So do dig deep. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. The more open and honest your posts are, the more people will respond to them. It's absolutely the way it is. All of my deepest posts have skyrocketed in popularity above the sort of the more superficial ones. And don't be shocked when your call to action posts have like barely any feedback. People just think, oh my gosh, she's inviting to the boot camp, and I really want to do it, but she might not want me. That's what people think. A lot of people won't reply because they think that they're interested, but they don't think you want them at the party. It's incredible, but people think that. So that's why you've got to invite behind the scenes, because if they're watching you, particularly if they're constantly showing up in your likes and your comments, and then you can see them watching your stories, they're interested. So always make sure to say to them, is this something you're interested in? And if not, it doesn't matter, really and truly. So auditing my last 10 posts. So go below surface level, post every day ideally, at a push, post every 2 days. Now this is on your feed, so your Facebook feed and your Instagram feed. Your stories, you want between 8 and 15 stories, ideally, is a nice flow. Some of the coaches, the elite coaches I see doing like 20 to 30, and I just think, oh God, it's just like, no, it's like wading through treacle. I mean, even couple of my really favorite ones, it's just like, oh God, I've watched a couple and just swipe through. It's just too much. So I wouldn't go overboard on them. Just, see how you react. If something's really, really interesting, then you might keep watching the posts. But on the whole, we're all short of time. So be aware of that people watching your posts are probably going to swipe through after maybe 3 or 4. That's why it's a really good idea to also drip feed your stories throughout the day, so that you've not got like a huge wodge of 12 between 8 and 8:30 in the morning and then nothing. You want to sort of drip feed them as the day progresses. And it also means then, as you add a new story, the circle around your Instagram stories notification on your Instagram feed gets filled in again, so people know that there's something new that you've added. So yeah, on your feed, I would post every day. Every 2 days at a push, and make them good posts, but ideally aim every day. Make your post relatable, valuable, informative, humorous. What reaction do you want to get from people? You don't need to take professional photographs. iPhones these days take amazing photos. I've got an Android, it takes okay photos. I use natural daylight most of the time. You don't need a selfie light. A lot of people do have a Diva ring. I use a Diva ring for in fact, I've got one on at the moment because I've got a backlight at the moment too. Otherwise, my face would be black. And I use one for my Instagram TVs because, it's just important that people can see you clearly. And then just need your smile and your voice. So I've just taken, these are my absolute last 10. There are about 3 that happened before this, but 2 of those I posted today because I got blocked by Instagram, because yesterday I sent a load of messages to people that have cabin feeds on Instagram and oceanic kind of feeds, just because I love all that stuff, and I was just really indulging myself for a change. And then I think Instagram thought I was a bot because I was sending out so many messages and hearts to people. So you'll see on this is my last 10. Okay, so you can see here there's a transformation. So that would have been Tuesday. So you got Tuesday, menopause Monday. That will have been a Sunday. Saturday, Shakeology. Friday, what did I do for Friday on that one? Yeah, sometimes I'll stick a funny one on Friday. Thursday, was that Thursday? No, that was Wednesday. Sorry, that was Wednesday. That was my Wellness Wednesday. That will have been Transformation Tuesday, I think, Menopause Monday. That's a call to action for the coaching opportunity. I just put want to join me because I want people to know it's a call to action specifically for coaching, because I love recruiting coaches. I'm just so passionate about the potential that our business holds for people. So that's a call to action day. That was a Sunday, and that will have probably been a Monday before another Menopause Monday that I will have done. So look, so here we go. So it's Transformation Tuesday. This is one of 5. Now Instagram really likes it if people are clicking through your photos. It will boost your feed in your it'll boost the audience that you're post gets shown to. So I try and have a few a week. I haven't done so many this week on that last 10 actually. I don't know there. Normally, if I've added one or two, I'll normally do 2 or 3 frames so people click through, but you can't see the thing up there. So it might just be that, it's because it would have been in an Instagram story. So that will have been one of 3 photographs. That's obviously one of 5 because it's got other people's transformation images on it too. And so today is the day where I declared I've had enough of not trying my hardest. So I'm being a bit vulnerable. I'm now teetotal and dialing in my nutrition to make the very most of the last 2 weeks of my 100-day program, and also give me a fighting chance of surviving the 6-week toughie program that I'm starting on November 4th. So this isn't really a call to action, but it does talk about several different things. So it's a bit vulnerable, saying I've given up booze. I'm dialing in my nutrition. It's saying I'm a bit pissed off with myself. Yes, these photos make me squirm, but I want to see how much my body will change if I do all the things my nutrition guide suggests. And then I've detailed the ladies that are in the other photographs. I've detailed how they've transformed their short stories as well. So this is Menopause Monday. I did pelvic floor health, and that is just a caption that I write as my Instagram post underneath it. It also gets loaded up to YouTube. And then this one, this is more of a personal story again about me when I used to go swimming when I was pregnant with the children. And it's all about, so I mentioned Amoida Caesar here because the work won't come into our library until April 2020. So it's not like people can try and get it on Amazon and sort of not know what they're doing when they get it. It's well protected for a long time, so people will have to come through us to get their VIP access. So because we've got a boot camp starting soon on the 4th of November, I'm talking about that quite a lot in my stories. Here is obviously the Shakeology post. I'm talking about on this one about gut health. And adaptogen herbs again. This one I've gone wireless, so it's a funny image I found, but I actually talk about business here. It goes into, so I make it a bit of a joke, but it also talks about the fact that I'm allowed to wear now. I don't have to wear corporate clothing. I can wear comfy bras because I'm running my own business, etc. And that actually got quite a lot of responses on that one. This is another Wellness Tips for You Wednesday. So this is about, so it's exercise related post, but it's much more it went more into the sort of science of things, about non-fitness related benefits of exercise. So tie that in with mental health again. Now this got a massive amount of reaction. I've started adding a dark sort of black and white one every now and again, and they tend to be more of a posed picture. So I actually posed for that and tried to get the right angle, because obviously you can't show anything on Instagram, but I wanted it to be a quite raw and vulnerable photograph to lead people into the post, and the post got a huge amount of response as well. So it was all about the fear of being judged, and how since I've become a coach, I don't have that fear anymore. Another Menopause Monday and unwanted hair growth. And then this is a coaching call to action post, which will have been on the Sunday. And then I guess this is probably me sharing some of my workout frames on a Monday. But so you can see there's a good selection. They're all in different rooms. Okay, this workout photo and that, so the workout video and that photo are in the same room. This is the same room, but at a different angle. In fact, it's the same room I'm in right now because this is where I work a lot of the time. But you can see, so I've got different types. This is with my computer here. These are obviously I'm chatting. That's just catching me chatting. Again, just sort of make sure they're not all, obviously that's a workout pose. make sure they're not all just your head and shoulders in the same room, in the same outfits. It just gets boring. So, you know, just have an idea of what your feed looks like. And just talking briefly about your Instagram bio and your profile, make sure it's a good picture. So for instance, have I got mine up at the moment? Here we go. I've just changed mine apps actually. Make sure your photo here is a nice, clear photograph. You don't want it, vague. You don't want other people in it. This is your account, so keep it as far for you. Yeah, if your profile is vague and you look like every other coach in the network, it sends out a mixed message. So avoid in your profile, don't have here like Beachbody coach or your Beachbody website link, because it says Beachbody and people see it and just think, oh my God, no, she's just going to try and sell me something. It's a network marketing company. You've not even given them a chance to get to know you. And in fact, I've just changed my profile again, I think yesterday. I'll show you my previous one and this one. And I tweak it regularly because I try and work out what works best. Your bio needs to state, who do you help? So what are you helping those people do? Are you helping them build a business, lose weight, inspire to dream bigger? So I'm now helping you find your power, live on purpose, and do it courageously. And this used to say body, brain, and biz coach. I'll show you my previous profile in a minute. And I just thought, what sort of sums me up? And I thought wildly, midlifing. I've got nature, I've got the sunshine, I've got those little stars, which to me indicate a little bit of spiritualism. Wildly, I am a freedom lover. I am a bit of a wild, mad thing. And I'm midlifing, and I think that's quite funny. I think it's more appealing than brain, body, and biz coach. I think people might see that and just think it's a bit heavy, and am I going to try and force something on them that they don't want? And here, helping you find your passion, helping you find your power, live on purpose, and do it courageously. Rather than say I'm a health and fitness coach and I help you build a business, it pretty much says all of that in here, but in so much nicer way, and it's so much more empowering. I just really like that. For me, at the moment, it sits really well. I have put IGTV for my Menopause Work Mondays and Wellness Wednesdays because I want to draw more people into those, because again, it's a really good opportunity for people to get to know me better. And then I've just added a few things that are important to me: nature, ocean, freedom, INFJ, that's my personality type, and the amount of comments I get because I've put that. We're the rarest personality type, and so I get a lot of comments on that one. And then obviously my Linktree link, which goes through to all my various forms, application forms and things that people can get. And then here I've got my highlights as well. So whenever I do a Menopause Monday, I add it up to here. Whenever I do a shake post, I add it here. When I've got a work call to action or something, I add it here. Wellness Wednesdays go here. My results go there. General Madness, that's just a silly one. My furries, again, it's a silly one. Time Nutrition, I've not added to that for ages because I've got so many on there already. And a couple of coach related ones. I'm actually in the process of building out a coach info session on Instagram. I've just not had much chance to do it yet. So there will be a link soon in here to my coach info session, and it will also link here somewhere, and I'll make sure to keep adding to it so it gets added up. It becomes, sits at the top here. Basically, whatever you've used last goes here. So I've not added my Wellness Wednesday to here yet, so I need to add that. And so if I just go back here, so just make sure what you help people do what. Bear in mind, I think you're only allowed 150 characters. So write it out, give it a try. You can always change it. People tend to put like their surname. It's no point, because if it's in your IG name, it's kind of wasted space. So I just put Kate, and then I really like Wildly Midlifing. It just sums me up really well for me at the moment. And what does your profile say about you? So I've sort of gone over that. Does it contain a Linktree link? Guys, if you're not using a Linktree link, it's just, you're so much wasting out. If I just quickly click mine here and it'll show you. So free sugar cravings worksheet with recipes, join my free 5-day falling into your wellbeing group, apply to join our coaching team, learn more about my health and fitness boot camp. I've got loads of things here. I can actually get rid of some of these. I need to tidy it up, but you know, it's a great opportunity for you to have lots of different links there that people can go in and just click through and choose what they want and click through to it. So I find using application forms saves me a heck of a lot of time when I'm recruiting for a boot camp or the coaching opportunity, because it saves me having to go backwards and forwards with people to find out their goals, their struggles, the income they want to make from the business, that sort of thing. And make sure I've sort of covered this. I mean, okay, what are your 5 things? I go on about this all the time. What are the 5 things that define you? For me, well, you can see on my link, my thing here, but you know, I talk a lot about lifestyle, parenting, being a single parent, health and fitness, of course, with Beachbody, my family, I share a lot, menopause, nature, and being outdoors. And then have a variety of different types of posts, so a combination of video, images of you, maybe at slight distance, of a close-up, in a different position, in a different location. A lot of coaches actually will, if they've had to get dressed up for something and put their makeup on, before they go out or whatever they're going to, they will take a load of shots in different outfits, in different positions, and save them for a rainy day, for when they need a shot like that. Again, I tend not to. I just take, like, this photograph, the coach post, where was it? That one. I was just sat at my desk thinking, I need to type something. Oh, by the way, you guys, I don't know what's happened to the algorithm. All of a sudden, it's just gone nuts. I mean, I got a lot of feedback on that one, but this is a call to action, so I won't get so much feedback on that one. But I don't know what Instagram have done. There's so much, so many comments about it at the moment. Instagram story viewers, I don't know, it's just like this. Actually, I've not refreshed my feed, so maybe it will have got a few more. Okay, so I've got 3 comments, so I need to go and comment back, reply on those. I've got 55 likes, but it's not a lot. And I've got 1 comment on that, although I didn't write a post with that because I couldn't write any earlier. But no, I don't know what Instagram's jiggled around the algorithm again. And this was my previous one. So I help single parents and midlifers build hope, health, and legacy. Again, I quite like that. Body, brain, and biz health. Again, I'm not 100% sure about that one. I just think when you look at somebody's when somebody follows you on Instagram, this is what they will see of me. So Kate, body, brain, and biz health. Whereas now they see me, and where is it? And it says Kate, wildly midlifing. And for me, that just more appealing. So I've got helping you find your power, live on purpose, and do it courageously, instead of I help single parents and midlifers build hope, health, and legacy. I don't think either of them are too bad, but it's interesting to see. I wish I'd taken how many, I'm on 12,770-ish at the moment. I wish I'd had a look to see where that was, because obviously this is nearly up to 12.8 now, and where that was then. So to see if it helps more people decide that they want to follow me or not. Anyway, so look at your last 12 posts on your Instagram. First of all, look at your last 24 hours of your IG stories. How many do you have? Again, I mentioned it earlier, but aim for between 8 and 15. How many show your face? How many share your voice? Are you talking to the camera, or are you just sharing image after image after image of either IG story that you've created, you know, to share about a boot camp or something? How many have absolutely nothing to do with Beachbody? So if your stories are full of Beachbody, people are just going to get turned off. They're not interested. You know, I think the way I look at my feed these days is I just want to write stuff that people will resonate with. And they can see that I'm involved with health and fitness. They can see I'm a coach, but I'm not ramming it down their throats. And when I approach them and ask them if they want help, or if they approach me and ask me for help, that's when I can have more of a conversation with them about the boot camp and do it that way behind the scenes, rather than having it on all of my posts. So how many do have something to do with Beachbody? And if you were looking at your feed, would you say, wow, they look like they've got their shit together? Or would you look at your feed and think, looks a bit crummy? You guys, I think it's in unit 24. We've got masses of Instagram and social media trainings. Have a look at them. Listen to trainings while you're having your breakfast. Listen to trainings while you're doing the ironing. Listen to trainings while you're doing the chores. Listen to trainings while you're in the car. Honestly, all I ever do, as soon as I finish my workout, I put training on while I'm getting my breakfast, while I'm feeding the dogs, before I get showered, while I'm having a shower, while I'm getting dressed after the shower. I've always got, whether it's the national wake-up call, whether it's the latest team training from our page, whatever it is, I'm listening. I'm constantly listening to different trainings. I never stop. And I suggest that if you're not doing it now, do it, because you'll learn so much more, but then take action on those trainings. Look at your last, so this is what I want you to do. So when you watch this video back, I want you to answer these questions and go back and write your results in, and ideally share it with me. So look at your last 20, these are my answers. I've got 19 IG stories in the last 24 hours. 14 of them show my face. 14 of them are me talking to the camera. 8 of them have nothing to do with Beachbody. 11 of them do in one way, shape or form, because I was talking about energize and recover a little bit today, actually, which is something I don't often do. And I shared several of my frames from my workout. Do you showcase someone who makes a great leader, someone who people can trust? I hope so. Look at the last post on your feed. So again, this is going back to the grid. Let's see if I can get back to it here. So how many show your face? Enough of them. You can tell it's me and you can tell it's my feed, yeah? How many share my voice? Quite a few, actually. This is more with your Instagram stories, but I think if you're sharing your Instagram frames from your workout, you ideally want to be chatting or saying something to the camera, even if it's just like a groan because you're literally about to die in a sweaty puddle. Obviously, I've got my IGTVs. I don't expect everybody to do an IGTV. It's something I enjoy doing. So, you know, don't feel you've got to do that at all. But obviously, that's got my voice on it. That will have my voice on it. How many have nothing to do with Beachbody? So out of these, that doesn't, that one doesn't, that one doesn't, that one doesn't, although it's the shake, but I'm not saying it's Shakeology, I'm talking about mental health. That's a bit of a coachy one. That does, that's a boot camp one. Look, nobody's commented on that because it's obvious. It's a call to action. No, not really. No, that was more of a personal one. That was a menopause again. That's a call to action, so people don't really reply much on that one. That was a Beachbody related one. How many talk about coaching? Quite a few of mine do. Did I put my answers in? Okay, so yeah. So how many share my face? 8 out of the last 12. How many share my voice? 6 out of the last 12. How many have nothing to do with Beachbody? 7 out of 12. How many do? 5 out of 12. How many talking about coaching? Of the 5 that do relate to Beachbody, 4 of those are coach-related posts in some way, shape or form. They're not necessarily a call to action. They're how I have changed or improved since becoming a coach. And again, do you showcase someone who makes a great leader? So be aware of what your feed's looking like. Make sure you've not got the name Beachbody in here. Make sure you're sharing value. Is it informative? Is it educational? Is it funny? Is it raw and vulnerable? Does it tell a bit about your story? Is it something that people can watch and learn from? You know, always remember that the reason you're posting is to help people, not because you're a Beachbody coach and you're just thinking, what the heck am I going to post? I'll just stick any old rubbish up. Okay. Oh, and always make sure that your photographs are well lit. You can tell I've got the Diva ring on there and there because the back is quite dark. These, I just use the window. I just make sure I've got that. That's not so well lit, but I just make sure I've got good light from the window. That I wanted it to be dark. That was in the car. See, they're not all amazingly glamorous, but that was quite a good post. That's the one I did in the garden. So obviously that's quite well lit. That's me and my daughter when we were scuba diving. So, you know, I do chuck whenever I've got something, my mum and my daughter. So whenever I'm out and about in my family, when I can, I will include them in the feed. But because we all live so far away, I don't get to for them to join in very often, unfortunately. I would love to do it more often. Now, one thing I have found is that when I share the transformation of somebody else other than me, they don't get very many comments or likes. That this got no comments at all, even though he won the Beachbody Challenge. He won £100,000 because of his transformation. So I always I always now add my transformation first, and then I follow. This has got another 4 photographs on it. So, and then I follow with other people's transformations. So bear that in mind as well. And you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So even if your feed is really shitty, your stories are rubbish, and you sent a really bad invite, if somebody wants your help, they're going to ask for it. So never feel, and the same way you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. If somebody really doesn't want it, then hopefully they'll unfollow you and you don't have to waste time. Or maybe they'll decide eventually that they need some help. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody needs help with their health and fitness to a certain degree. And we have a fantastic solution. So here's a few test messages just for a bit of fun for you. Hey, Tammy, I want to thank you for the love. So you've got to tell me, well, when you're watching this, before I show you the answers, work out which is the good one, which one's the bad one. So, hey, Tammy, I want to thank you for the love on yesterday's post. Your support means the world to me. Don't know if you had a chance to also watch my stories and see that I'm hosting a boot camp on such and such a date. I wanted to just ask you if it's something you might be interested in. If so, give me the green light and I'll break it down for you in more detail. Or, hey girl, I saw you watch my Insta story and wanted to reach out to see if you wanted to join my boot camp. Or, hey Sarah, I wanted to pop in and see if you have any interest at all in starting a workout or a nutrition program with me this month. I'm getting a group of girls started on the 100-day program. I'm on day 76 of loving it so much and want to pay it forward. Either way, I hope you're having an incredible week. So before I show you, in your mind, which one do you reckon is the odd one out or the odd 2 out? And the one in the middle. Not just because it said, hey girl, I always add the name because it's just so crappy. But it's just like, this is all about what I want. It's not about them at all. Hey, I saw you watch my Insta story. Want to see if you want to join my boot camp. What's a boot camp for a start? Next one. Test messages for coaching. Find the odd one out or the odd 2 out. Hey Claire, not sure if you've ever had any interest at all in what I do as a coach, but if so, I'm hosting a 30-minute webinar on Saturday at 10 a.m. and would love to have you pop on. If you'd like the link, just shoot me your email in more detail. Oh, that's my cock up there. I'll have to correct that. Just shoot me your email. Or I'm hosting a webinar at 10 a.m. on Saturday to go over what I do as a coach. I'm going to break down what life looked like when I started, the time and tasks that went into it, and everything in between. If I sent you the link, is that something you'd be interested in watching? Or, hey, I'm looking to expand my team of 10 girls this month and would love for you to be one of them. I am part of a company that thrives on health and wellness. You could get in incredible shape and make a killer income if you just start. What do you think? So which one or which 2 are the odd ones out of that little lot? By the way, if I've got yellow teeth, it's because I've got turmeric in my coffee. That one. Because it's just crappy. There's nothing nice about it. I actually don't use a copy-paste script at all. I use the voice memo on my phone. So, because if I use, I don't know what the difference, I don't record my voice because a lot of people say they can't listen to the voice memo, but I use voice to text. So I just talk a message, which is normally referring to something on their feed, personal. So it might be, hey Claire, I saw that you've just moved house. I hope that's gone really well for you. The timing might not be great right now, but I know we've been in touch in the past. Just wanted to let you know I'm getting ready to start up a new boot camp or online boot camp. Do you fancy joining us this month round? Something like that. And so it's really conversational, but it refers to something that's going on in their life. And it's so fast. I mean, I do check that it's typed out properly, because obviously voice to text, sometimes it gets a bit messed up. So I always make sure that, the spelling is correct, etc. But that's a really nice, easy way of chatting to people. And it's just a genuine message. With coaching, for instance, I tend to actually just, if I see somebody who I think is going to make an amazing coach, I just send them a message. And it's something along the lines of, hi, Sally. I know this is a little bit random because we don't really know each other yet, but I see we're in similar fields, because I follow a lot of like psychotherapists and holistic therapists. So I see we're in similar fields. Not sure if this is going to interest you at all, but I run my psychotherapy business alongside of my online health and fitness coaching business. I think seeing what you're doing on social media, you'd be perfect at the coaching biz. What do you think? Would you like more information? And leave it to that, something along those lines. So, and then this, I think I heard somebody come up with something similar to this the other day, and I can't actually remember who it was, but I noted it down and I put it in my words. So, perfect general message for new followers or story viewers. So, hey name, I just wanted to say hi and thank you so much for watching my stories. I know some people like to follow along for fun, and some people are interested in what I do and are nervous to get in touch. I'd love to help you if you'd ever consider doing a program with me or want some info on how I make this a career I love. I'd love to send you some more info. If so, I need to get rid of that in more detail there as well. I don't know where that in more detail popped in from. And hey name, I just want to say hi and thank you for supporting my content. So this is for watching my stories, this is for supporting my content, and this is for commenting on my posts. It's pretty much the same message afterwards. So I think that's a really nice one, because a lot of people do like following along for fun. So you're taking the pressure off them completely by saying, I know some people like to follow along for fun, but if they are interested to learn more, you've covered it here. People are interested in what I do and are nervous to get in touch. A lot of people are nervous. And so you're broaching that there in the message. It's friendly, it's non-committal. You're not forcing anybody to do anything. It's for them rather than for you. I think that's a really, really nice message. And you could send that just for like, you could even send that for a new follower. Hi, Claire, just want to say thank you so much for following me, and follow on with the same message. I think it's really nice. Because look, your new followers, unless you're checking it really regularly, you might not know who is a brand new follower. So this is just a really nice message to send. And then that's it. Ta-da! Hope this was awful. I hope this was awfully helpful. Oh, my tongue's sore. I've done too much talking. So, yeah, guys, put this to practice. Hopefully you found it, helpful. I will share this with you in our team page so that you've got access to it, and if you want to use it, you can. And go through your social media and have a look. Be really honest with where you're at with it. And also, if after you've watched this and you've had a look at your social media, if you want me to do an individual audit, a one-on-one audit with you, I will. We'll just arrange a time, we'll do a Zoom, and I can go through your social media too. So it's not a problem at all. I don't mind doing that, but please watch this fully first and put into practice, make the adjustments that you need to adjust. And just be aware of, I tend to write quite long posts. I don't think you need to write as long posts. Yeah, that one's a shorter one. On the whole, I think it's good to mix them up a bit. have a mixture of shorter and longer ones, but always dig deep and focus on what the post is delivering to somebody else rather than what you want to say, if that makes sense. So we'll stop that, and hope it's been helpful, and I will catch you guys soon.